Hello everyone. Today we are going to study our new subject, which is game programming. In game programming, you have to study about different concepts that are used in game programming. That means how to develop the games by using the different concepts of mathematics in unit first, second, and unit 3. In unit first, you have to study about the Cartesian coordinate system, vectors, transformations, and directx. These are the basic concepts that are not in deep. That means what are the vectors and examples on that. These are not under this syllabus. You have just overview about these concepts and how to use that concepts in game programming. Then in unit second, you have to study about DirectX. That means this is the library which is used to develop the games. And you have to study these concepts in the Unity Hub, practicals, and in a tutorial. Then next concept is trigonometry, interpolation, analytic geometry. And in unit 3, you have to study about rendering engines, multi-platform publishings, VR, AR, scripting, and about the VR, AR, MR, how that concepts are executed. This is in the syllabus of your game programming subjects. And for game programming, you have to follow the textbooks here given, mathematics for computer graphics, and another additional references are given here. Suppose you want to show the detailed information about the concepts, then you can refer this additional references books. Okay, so let's start with our unit first and chapter 1, Cartesian coordinate system. In that you have to study about Cartesian XY plane, function graphs, geometric shapes, polygonal shapes, areas of shapes, theorem of Pythagoras in 2D, 3D coordinates, theorem of Pythagoras in 3D polygons, and Euler rule. Okay, so let's start with our today's session. First chapter is Cartesian coordinate system. In today's lecture, we will study about Cartesian XY plane, function graphs, geometric shapes, polygonal shapes, and areas of shapes. These are the basic concepts. That means only the overview of these concepts in your syllabus. First point is the Cartesian XY plane. A Cartesian plane is defined by two perpendicular number lines. The x-axis, which is horizontal, and the y-axis, which is vertical. Then using these axes, we can describe any point in the plane using an ordered pair of numbers. The Cartesian plane is divided into 4 quadrants, and the origin of xy plane is 0, 0. Then x and y variables are known as Cartesian coordinates. Then you can understand these all points in Cartesian XY plane in our next slide. This is the another slide. See here, coordinates. This is the Cartesian XY plane. Here, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Here, in second slide, you can understand the Cartesian XY plane contains 4 quadrants. This is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant. In first quadrant, x-axis is positive, y-axis is positive. Then in second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. Then in third quadrant, x and y both are negative, and in fourth quadrant, x is positive and y is negative. This is the second point. You can see here a Cartesian plane is defined by two perpendicular number lines, which is x-axis and y-axis. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. Then using these axes, we can describe any point in the plane using an ordered pair of numbers. That means we have to find out the combination of x and y point, that is 2, 1. 3, 2. These are the points. That means we combine the 2 points related to x-axis and y-axis. Then the Cartesian plane is divided into 4 quadrants. These are the 4 quadrants. And the origin is 0, 0. This is the origin point here, 0, 0. Here is the origin point. And it is the angle of 90 degree with x and y axis. That means this is the 90-degree angle which is made between x and y axis. Then x and y variables are known as Cartesian coordinates. Then suppose we want to draw a line on a Cartesian plane, then it makes the equation in the format of mx plus c. There are different types of functions available in mathematics. So we have to study about that in our next one. So I'm taking here the example of a straight line, y is equal to mx plus c. This is the format, and in example I'm giving here this line which has its equation like this. This is the basic concept of Cartesian xy plane. So this is the basic, which contains the horizontal and vertical lines, which is called as x-axis and y-axis. Okay, let's move towards the next point, which is function graphs. There are different function graphs are available in mathematics, but here we will study about some of them. First one is linear function, quadratic function, cubic function, and trigonometric function. Here, these are the equations of that particular functions. This is the linear function which contains y is equal to mx plus c, and its graph is a straight line. Then quadratic function having the equation y is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, and its graph is a parabola. Then cubic function having the equation y is equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, and its graph is a wave-like trace just like a S. That means it contains the shape just like a S. Then trigonometric function which contains this shape as y is equal to a sin x, and graph is same as cubic function. So you can use that functions and their shapes in developing the game programming or games. म्हणजे हे शेप्स काय होतात तर याच्यामध्ये गेम प्रोग्रामिंग मध्ये हे शेप्स यूज केले जातात, आणि त्याच्यासाठी त्याच्यामध्ये ते कोणते फंक्शन आहे किंवा त्याचे इक्वेशन काय आहे किंवा त्याचा शेप काय आहे हे माहिती असणं गरजेचं आहे. तर याच्यामध्ये अजूनही फंक्शन्स अवेलेबल आहेत आणि त्याचे ग्राफ्स सुद्धा अवेलेबल आहेत जे गेम प्रोग्रामिंग मध्ये यूज होतात. याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला फक्त ओव्हरव्ह्यू बघायचं आहे की याच्यामध्ये हे काय आहेत आणि हे कुठे यूज केले जातात. तर याच्यामध्ये हे फंक्शन्स ग्राफ्स यूज केले जातात. सो यू कॅन see here the one by one functions and their shapes. Linear function have only the straight lines. That means when we use linear functions, then we can only draw the straight lines. Then quadratic functions. When quadratic functions are used, then it contains the shapes just like parabola. This is the shape of a parabola. The next one is cubic function. Cubic function have a wave-like shapes just like a S letter shapes. This is the cubic function. Then trigonometric function. Trigonometric function is same just like a cubic function. These shapes are used in developing the games. In animation, graphs are used to control the movements of the object, and it shows the relationship between activity like movement, size, brightness, rotation, color, etc. For example, you may know that the game just like Subway Surf. In Subway Surf, it will move from one path to another path. Then it will change to left to right, right to left. These are the movements of the particular object. That means that man which run on that particular platform. So in Subway Surf, this is the animation, and in that animation, objects movements are controlled by using these types of graphs. This is the use of function graphs in game programming. So let's move towards the next point, which is geometric shapes. Computer graphics needs 2D shapes and 3D objects. 2D shapes includes circle, polygons, curves, and another different types of 2D shapes that you can see in the image. Then 3D objects can be smooth, faceted, furry, bumpy, etc. Here, there are two concepts, which is 2D shapes and 3D shapes. You have to clear here. 2D shapes are square, circle, triangle, diamond, pentagon, hexagon, half circle, oval, rectangle. 2D shapes. In game programming, 2D shapes are used and 3D objects are used. By using 2D shapes, 3D objects are created. For example, there is a pyramid, which is 3D object. But this 3D object is created by using the 2D shapes, which is a triangle. That means here two triangles are used and it creates a 3D object. That means it just sees just like a 3D, having 3D effect. There is a triangular prism. Here it uses the rectangle as well as triangle, and it creates the 3D objects, triangular prisms. That means in game programming, 2D shapes are used and by using that 2D shapes, 3D objects are created. Then there are another different geometric shapes are available. In 2D shapes only the two coordinates are used, that is x and y. But in 3D objects, three coordinates are used. So there are another different 2D shapes are available. Just you can see over the internet and or you search that shapes on the Google. Okay. Then next part is polygonal shapes. A polygonal shape is any two-dimensional shape formed with straight lines. Then triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, hexagons, decagons are all the examples of polygon. To construct a polygon, a sequence of vertices is needed. This is only the two-dimensional shape. That means it contains only the x and y coordinates. For example, we can draw this triangle on the xy plane. See here. XY plane. Then here, suppose we draw the triangle on this XY plane, then it contains only the X and Y coordinates. That's why it needs only the two-dimensional coordinates. There are different polygonal shapes we draw, just like triangle, rectangle, pentagon, hexagon, decagon. These are all the polygonal shapes. Suppose we want to draw any shapes that we want. For example, see here. Suppose I want to draw this shape. This shape is also comes under polygonal shape. Suppose I want to insert another shape, just like this shape. The shape is also comes under 2D polygon, but because it contains only the two lines joined with each other. That means this line and this line is communicated or connected. This line and this line is connected. That means it contains only the two coordinates x and y. By using that coordinates, it creates the shape. Suppose I want to insert another shape, just like this shape. This shape is also comes under polygonal shapes. Suppose I want to insert this shape, then this shape is also comes under polygonal shape. Okay. So you understand what are the polygonal shapes. Then see this example. This is the horse image, which is created from the polygonal shapes. Here you can see there is only 2D coordinates. And by using that coordinates or polygonal shapes, this horse image is created. That means it is the basic diagram drawn before creating the game or by creating its 3D animation. Before that, it just looked like this by using different polygonal shapes. So this is one example. To construct a polygon or sequence of vertices is needed. See, in this image, there are multiple polygonal shapes, but it contains some of the vertices that are connected with each other. That means need the vertices just like x and y. Here, x first coordinate is 1 1, second coordinate is 3 1, next coordinate is 3 2, and next coordinate is 1 3. After giving that vertices on the Cartesian plane, then it is connected with each other. Then this polygonal shape is created. Okay, then this polygonal shape has two sequences, that is clockwise and anti-clockwise. Suppose this sequence is given in this format, then 1 1, 3 1, 3 2, and 1 3. This is anti-clockwise sequence. When we take the sequence as 1 3 3 2 3 1 or 1 1, that means suppose these sequences are reverse, then we can find it as 1 3 3 2 3 1 1 1. That means this is the clockwise sequence. That means the polygonal shape has two sequences, just like clockwise and anti-clockwise. Suppose you can't mention the sequence of that vertices, that is clockwise or anti-clockwise, then the system can mention that sequence is clockwise. But that means by default it takes the sequence as a clockwise. Okay, then next point is areas of shapes. Areas of shapes means there are different types of polygons available. Then areas of shapes are found out by using this formula. Suppose there is a polygon and having the vertices just like x0, x1, x2, and y has the coordinates y0, y1, y2, and y3. Then the area is calculated by using this formula. That is, area is equal to 1 divided by 2 into x0, y1 minus x1, y0 plus x1, y2 minus x2, y1. And same like this, it is continued up to your last coordinates of x and y. Suppose there are another x4, y4, x5, y5. Then it will be x5 coordinates, x5 and y5 coordinates. And by using this formula, areas of shapes are calculated. So this is the example of areas of shapes. So let's see here. These are the coordinates of x and y. By using this formula of area of shapes, area of any polygon can be calculated. I'm giving here different types of shapes. Polygonal shapes are available. So suppose I want to calculate the area of this polygon. Then I am taking the coordinates. That means this is first coordinate, this is second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and the 6 coordinates are taken here. That is, these are the here x coordinates are 6 and y coordinates are 6. And by giving that coordinates, areas of polygons are calculated. In this example, x contains 4 coordinates and y contains 4 coordinates. And after that, area of polygon is calculated. So you can solve this example in your notebook and try answer is correct or not. Okay, these are the formula to find out the areas of shapes of any polygon. That means polygons have any shape only using the two-dimensional objects or two-dimensional coordinates. Okay. So we can use this concept in game programming, just like Cartesian XY plane. Cartesian XY plane is must in game programming. Then So again, this is the Cartesian XY plane, and contains the basic concepts in. Then second one, function graphs. There are different types of function graphs and that are used in game programming. These shapes are used in games. Then geometric shapes. That means you can see the different objects in game programming. Then that shapes are created by using 3D objects, and that 3D objects are created by using 2D shapes. Then polygonal shapes, that means any shapes having only 2 dimensions. That means any shapes we can take here. This is the example of polygonal shapes that are used to create a horse image. Then this is one of the example of polygonal shape and areas of shapes. Okay, thank you. Suppose there is any problem related to this lecture, then contact me, and I am sharing the notes of the particular lecture on your particular group. Okay, thank you.